What is adventure? Many people have defined this term over the years, but adventure isn't necessarily a term that needs definition. Where can you find adventure? Another answer sought out by many, but few can truly find. So what do we as humans know about the concept of adventure? We know it's an experience, something that doesn't always happen every day. But when it does happen, the consequences are great, for better or for worse. Few places on Earth have the capability of continuing to challenge what it means to have an adventure. But among those select few places, high in the Sierra Nevada mountains is Yosemite National Park. Yosemite has defied expectations for generations and continues to inspire many people today to explore and be creative with their lives. Today, we take a look at what makes Yosemite one of the most beautiful and unique places in the world. Yosemite is a huge park, which is why REC will be producing 2 videos about this amazing place. Part 1 will discuss the history and geology of Yosemite, and Part 2 will be covering the many different attractions at one of America's oldest national parks. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The most iconic place at the national park is the famed Yosemite Valley, and that's where most adventures in the park begin. To get to the valley, visitors can access the area from 4 different routes. On the west side of the park are highways 120, 180, and 41, and from the east is the Tioga Road, which is only open in the summer, and we'll get to it in a little bit. Highway 120, named Big Oak Flat Road, approaches Yosemite from San Francisco and provides 2 iconic views of Yosemite: at the Half Dome viewpoint, a first glimpse into the main valley from afar, and Valley View, which is located in the valley itself, looking up from the Merced River onto the granite monoliths some 3,000 feet above. Highway 140 arrives at Yosemite Valley from the town of Merced and follows the Merced River into the park, arriving at one of the most spectacular overlooks of the valley in the park, Tunnel View. Emerging from a tunnel, the road opens into Yosemite Valley and is a popular spot to take photos of El Capitan and Half Dome. Finally, Highway 41 travels through the town of Fresno, entering the national park from the south and passing one of the major areas of the park on its way to Yosemite Valley, the area of Wawona. Located near Wawona is the famous Mariposa Grove, a group of ancient sequoias, the largest and one of the tallest trees on Earth. Several trails in the area meander through the grove and its surroundings, making any southern Yosemite hike a pleasant experience. But returning to Yosemite Valley itself brings us to some of the most recognizable symbols of the National Park Service, icons which are known across the globe. Many of the massive monoliths within the valley soar up thousands of feet high, including El Capitan, a popular formation for experienced climbers on the west side of the valley. Also in the valley are Half Dome and North Dome, a pair of massive opposing slabs of rock, the former of which was once thought to be impossible to climb. For more info, see the card above. Now hikers can reach either dome on a 14-mile round-trip hike on either side of the valley. In addition to monoliths, snowmelt from the high Sierras trickles down to the valley, forming beautiful waterfalls, which can be best seen in late spring and early summer. Upon entering Yosemite Valley, the immediate prominent waterfall is Bridal Veil Fall, and this fall is one of the easier waterfalls to access in Yosemite, only requiring a short, mostly flat hike to its base. Located near the Yosemite Valley Lodge is awe-inspiring Upper and Lower Yosemite Falls, which can easily be hiked to its base, or more adventurous trekkers can take a longer trail up to the top of the falls. However, it is along the Mist Trail, aptly named for the large amounts of mist expelled by the water along the path, where some of the best waterfalls in Yosemite can be seen. Vernal and Nevada Falls cascade down the Merced River and provide a cool atmosphere for those making their way up to the top of Half Dome, which after passing the waterfalls requires a permit to edge along the narrow cliffs of the adjacent rock formation Subdome before climbing up the side of Half Dome on its infamous cables. Yosemite Valley may be a place where visitors flock to en masse, but to experience isolation in the park, one must travel beyond the confines of the valley, into the High Sierra. North of the valley is Hetch Hetchy Valley, a locale flooded in the early 20th century to create a reservoir to supply water to the greater San Francisco area. While swimming and boating is not allowed at the reservoir, a backpacking camp at Hetch Hetchy serves as the jumping-off point for backcountry hikes to places like Tuolumne Meadows on the other side of the park. Speaking of Tuolumne Meadows, remember Highway 120 from earlier? After it heads north from Yosemite Valley, it becomes the Tioga Road heading eastward into the Sierra Nevada mountains, passing landmarks like Cathedral Peak and Lembert Dome before reaching the Tuolumne River at Tuolumne Meadows, where the river splits off into several smaller tributaries heading higher into the mountains. The meadows are also where the 2 infamous trails, the John Muir and Pacific Crest Trail, converge and head south towards Mount Whitney and Sequoia National Park. And so at last we come to the topic of animals in Yosemite, and there are a ton of them. To list a few, among the mammals at Yosemite are black bears, Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep, and mountain lions. Flying high above the mountains and valleys soar several species of owls, and preservationist John Muir's favorite bird, the American dipper. And swimming in the waters of the park are aquatic creatures such as the California roach, the ruffle sculpin, and the California red-legged frog, a creature that disappeared for decades and is just now being reintroduced to the park. So as this video draws to a close, we must once again ask ourselves that age-old question. What is adventure? Yosemite National Park provides an insight as to what the answer might be. Perhaps it's exploring a new trail, gaping at gushing gallons of water, discovering a reclusive animal hidden in the backcountry, or taking in the openness of Eastern California. Whatever excites you or pushes you to try something new and venture into the unknown is where adventure can be found. And among America's national parks, Yosemite is certainly full of reasons to discover for yourself what adventure means to you. We hope you enjoyed learning about Yosemite National Park, and until next time, you've been watching RIC Adventures.